What is up, everybody? Welcome on in. My name's Richie. He's Matt, and these Jets, dude. What are we gonna do about these New York Jets? Because they are 0-5, but the Jets Roundtable lives on, and we are live streaming on multiple channels, but the main channel is the Jets Roundtable, folks. So if you guys can do me a favor, come over to the Jets Roundtable YouTube channel. It's a brand new channel that we are trying to build. It's me, Matt O'Leary, Jake Asman, part of the channel, and Matthew Wilson, who's been an intern here, killing it. He's been posting videos throughout the week, so make sure you guys subscribe here to the Jets Roundtable. Matt, I don't know, man. How you feeling right now? What's the vibes for you, at least?
Not great. Not great, Richie. 0-5. Tough game on Sunday against the team coming off upset win on the road of the defending Super Bowl champions. Feel about as low as you can going into a game. I can't even spin myself into talking a Jets positive upset scenario.
Yeah, I guess I made the title What to Look For in the Winless Jets this week. I mean, there's not like any hope to win. It's just kind of like maybe there's storylines, something to watch, players. Maybe they do come out there and get a win when everyone least expects it, but we're going up against a team in the Denver Broncos who are coming off a win that gives them all the confidence in the world while the Jets continue to take a downturn. But my thoughts about this is pretty interesting. So I wanted to get your thoughts, Matt, because like, where is your head at? We've been through years of this together as fans, of course, as friends, and as content creators. But how does this season feel 5 weeks in compared to years past? Where are you at with these Jets, just in terms of emotions and getting yourself up to make videos, to get excited for game days? Like, where are you at now compared to years in the past?
This is as low as I've felt since 2020, which was a bad time. That was a 2-14 Adam Gase season. I felt better about every other season that I've covered so far. In 21, at least they weren't very good. They ended up winning 4 games, but they had a rookie quarterback, so I was interested in seeing what he looked like every game. 22, obviously they start to play a little bit better, and then it falls off. There were some exciting moments then. And then in 23 and 24, you obviously had the whole Rodgers thing, and they were going for it. But they've really disappointed me. I didn't have very high expectations to begin with. I thought they'd be 7-10 before the season started, and now that looks incredibly optimistic, as they might struggle to scrap together just a few wins on this season.
Yeah, and I feel like expectations for us and most Jets fans were low, as you could possibly get heading into the year, but it still hurts when you're watching this team go out there and do what they're doing week in and week out. I mean, your expectations were low, Matt, but were they this low?
No, I didn't think they'd be 0-5, potentially soon to be 0-6. I thought, I don't know, maybe they would be 2-3 heading into this game, right? Which is still a losing record, but I thought they would hang around 500 for a little bit this year, but they just don't look competitive in a lot of these games, which is, I think, the most disappointing, right? Like, they're down 30-3 against Dallas, and that team stinks. And then they lost to Miami, and Miami was winless at the time. And they're just making so many mistakes, and they're so self-destructive that they take themselves out of these games so early.
Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous. Folks, we're live on Jets Media. If you're watching this on Jets Media, do me a favor right now. Click the link that's pinned at the top of the chat and come over to the Jets Roundtable, because we want you guys to bring all of your friends, your family members, yourselves over to the Jets Roundtable, because this is where the show is going to be at home throughout this season. So shout out to everybody that is tuning in. And I want to give a big shout out real quick to our guy, because he has been killing it on this YouTube channel, Mr. Matthew Wilson himself, your future favorite sportscaster, as he would say. Shout out to him. He's been doing post-game recaps. He's been doing his thing on this New York Jets team on this YouTube channel. So make sure you guys go support the Jets Roundtable. You'll see his face. You'll see my face. You'll see Matt O'Leary. You'll see Jake Asman and other Jets content creators to come down the line. So definitely come over to the Jets Roundtable channel and support us over there. We appreciate that. Now, getting deeper into this game, man, coming up, Matt, like, the Broncos are a really good defense, and I feel like Last week, the Cowboys defense was their weakness, and the offense didn't do anything until the fourth quarter. So, what is your expectations from the offense this week? What do you want to see that changes things up? Because I feel like at this day and age, this offense just seems like they keep getting off the slow starts, and it's a little too late, and then they just start, letting it fly in garbage time.
Yeah, I unfortunately think this is a really tough matchup for the Jets offense. The last 2 weeks, as you pointed out, Dallas really struggles defensively. Miami really struggles defensively. And the Jets didn't get going, like you mentioned, until the end of the game when they were already down multiple scores. This week, they're going up against the Broncos team that leads the NFL in sacks. They have 21 sacks on the season. The next closest is the Lions with 16 or 17. So they have a pretty sizable lead in the sack department. And when you have an offensive line that struggled a little bit last week, but has mostly been okay, if they struggle again, plus Justin Fields likes to hold on to the ball, he's the second highest time to throw in the NFL, only behind Caleb Williams. I think they're going to rack up some sacks in this game. So this might be the old school, let's run the ball and have Justin Fields drop back like 18 times, because I don't see a path to success offensively with them throwing the ball.
Yeah, and I feel like my thoughts of the offense, Matt, is you see the numbers that Justin Fields is putting up, and they're pretty, good just from the numbers, but then you realize why they look good. It's because he's letting it rip late in games. Do you think there should be an adjustment offensively from flipping it, trying to be aggressive early on in games and don't rely to be down 3 scores? Or do you think that they're going to stay stubborn to their philosophy, just running the football? Because my thoughts of this offense is we all knew that they're going to try to be a ground and pound offense, but we thought that it would actually potentially work because the defense we at least thought would be middle of the road. And you can win some games with a good defense and a good run game. But the Jets have a good run game, but not a good defense. So you can't just run. You got to mix in the pass. Do you think there's a world where the Jets get a little bit more aggressive early on in games and start showing a sense of urgency and maybe call the similar type of up-tempo rhythm offense that they do in the fourth quarter, in the first quarter maybe? Would that make any difference?
I like when they go with tempo. I think that's a fair call out from you. I think, honestly, the reason why they don't throw Fields a ton early in the games is because they don't trust him. And there have been a couple moments this year where he's had open receivers and missed them. There was a big one last week. He had Garrett for what would have been a walk-in touchdown, overthrew it. A first drive of the game against Buffalo, throws it way too high for Garrett Wilson. I just think he's too inconsistent of a passer. And then when the defense finally backs off and is playing more of a softer zone, he could take some of the underneath stuff like to Mason Taylor or Garrett Wilson, and that's when the yardage starts to rack up. So I see what you're saying, and in theory, you would think a more balanced offense would actually be good, but I think they just need to play with a lead for this offense to work, right? Like if they went down the field against Miami and scored a touchdown and went 7-0 instead of fumbling, I think that game looks a lot different because they would have been playing with a lead, and I think they would have just continued to ride on the ground game what was working.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting shift that hopefully we can see, because what they're doing now is not working. And the problem with the offense, Matt, is that they get yards, but who cares about yards? You need to score. Touchdowns. 3 points don't win you games. Turnovers don't win you games. So you can be the third best team rushing, but it won't matter if you can't punch it in the end zone. Green Bean says 4 yards a play wins the game. Ask O'Leary, he knows. What is Mr. Green Bean referring to, Matt?
Anytime we go to a game, he just wants the Jets essentially to only run the ball, and he yells 4 yards a play. So first down, 4 yards, second down, 4 yards, third down, 4 yards.
Games.
First down, keep going down the field, and you eventually get in the end zone. I like this from our guy, Green Bean. I think he's onto something here.
Man, I love you, Green Bean. I think that 4 yards a play would be absolutely epic if the Jets can figure that one out. But too bad they can't. I think that the Jets offense has a very few amount of bright spots, but one of them, Matt, is Mason Taylor, the Jets rookie tight end. He's coming off back-to-back games with at least 5 catches and 65 or 55 yards. What is your overall impressions of the Jets rookie finding his rhythm right now?
I am a big Mason Taylor fan. I'm glad he's getting more involved in the offense, and I think he's a really good safety net in this offense. He's not someone who I think is going to put up a ton of yards after the catch. That wasn't really his strength coming out of LSU, but I think he has very reliable hands, And I think he's someone who will help you move the chains. He finds the soft spot in the zone. It feels like he's always open. Good hands, catches the ball. I think he's emerging as the obvious number 2 guy in the passing offense.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch Mason Taylor. And it's sad that our number 2 weapon is a tight end. I mean, some teams have that. But it just really goes to show you the Jets do not have a wide receiver next to Garrett Wilson. And Garrett Wilson is another plus. But my problem with Garrett Wilson, it's not him, but it's the way he's being utilized. I don't want to wait to the second half garbage time to get him involved. And that goes back to that sense of urgency I was talking about, Matt. Why is Garrett Wilson having 1 catch at halftime? Like, I'm in a fantasy league where I have Fields and Garrett Wilson, and I'm definitely happy. They're both getting numbers, but every week it's the same thing. I'm like, oh, this is the week where Fields looks bad in fantasy, or this is the week where Garrett looks bad, and then the fourth quarter comes. And you're like, oh, all right. At least I'm literally rooting for garbage time touchdowns between those two, just from a fantasy football perspective. But why are the Jets not getting Garrett Wilson involved early? Is it the same thing where they don't trust Justin Fields and they're so stubborn and just run, and barely open it up? Because the Jets have not scored a first half touchdown since week 1. And that's the thing you got to do. Feed your best player, Garrett Wilson.
I think that's part of it. I really do. I would like to see them at least take a shot down the field early in a game, even if they don't connect, and that'll help push the defense back a little bit and open up some of the underneath stuff. And they seem like they were just refusing to use Arian Smith. I don't know if that's a skill issue or just he's not fitting for whatever reason, but at least take a shot to Garrett down the field. He's so good up in the air making plays. Like, throw it up to him. If it works, great. If not, oh well, it's still something the defense is going to have to respect going forward. And I just don't think there's going to be an offense where, I know it happened last week because of garbage time, but Fields isn't going to throw the ball 40 times a week, most weeks. So they got to pick their spots, and it just feels like the targets start coming in the second half for some reason.
Yeah, and that's frustrating, man. Like, get Garrett Wilson the rock early on. Do not wait till you're down to get Garrett involved. He's that good. He's that dynamic. Like, let's feed him like Puka. Puka's got 50-plus yards because 50-plus receptions because he's got all the targets. And I'm not saying Garrett's not getting a lot of targets, but they're just coming when they're losing. Like, and by the way, reminder, the Jets are in every single game in the first quarter because it starts as a tie.
There you go.
You're not starting the game losing. So while it's tied on the second drive of the game, push the ball down the field to Garrett Wilson more. And he's 7th in the league in receiving yards. It's not like he's not putting up productive numbers, but I'm just talking about early in games, man. That's all I'm saying. Green Bean with a $2 super chat. Richie, do you trust this organization with a top 3 pick? Now, they've given me no reasons to trust them, Green Bean. Absolutely none. So, should I trust them? I'm hopeful that things can change for once, but you know, their last top 3 pick that was a success, you can argue, was what? Quinnen Williams. Sam Darnold, we shipped out of town. Now look what he's doing. And that's it. Have we had a top 3 pick outside of those guys recently?
No, because usually the Jets are bad, but not bad enough for a top 3 pick. They love to pick 6th. That's their favorite thing in the world. It feels like every year the Jets end up with the 6th pick. And
do you trust this organization with the top 3 pick?
I want to. I really want to. It seems like they hit on their first round pick this year with Armand Membu, so that's a good sign for this regime. But they don't have much luck taking a quarterback, and I think if you're picking in the top 3, you can't convince me that they're going any other direction than quarterback.
Well, get ready to learn Fernando Mendoza, Matt. Are you on the train?
Guy?
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I'm early in my. Jackson Dart was my guy last year. And the year prior, Bo Nix was my guy. I always find a guy. And Bo Nix is an enemy this weekend. But, you know what I mean? I haven't found my guy yet. But okay. I have done some preliminary work on Fernando Mendoza, and I did come impressed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other guys like John Mateer and, Lenoris Sellers. Why are we talking quarterbacks on October 9th, Matt? That's what pisses me off, dude.
Because they're 0-5, soon to be 0-6. This is the thing.
I know why, but I hate it.
Just win games, and we wouldn't have to do this.
I can't take it, dude. I can't take it, man. And the weird thing about this class is, like, it was supposed to be stacked, and I think people are assuming it's not stacked because the guys we thought were going to be good in college are not, but there's emergence of a lot of new guys. So it's a weird situation going on with the draft. And eventually the Jets roundtable, I guess, will be turned into mock drafts.
Mock draft roundtables. They did well last year. We'll bring it back.
Gosh.
That you brought up a good point with the guys who we thought were going to be good haven't been as good. But I do think guys like Mendoza, Mateer, and Dante Moore from Oregon, who weren't really the household names before the year, they're starting to look like legit prospects. So even if, you might think, man, like the guys we thought were going to be good, they all stink. Well, yeah, there's some other guys who are starting to emerge, so it might be okay.
Or do you have a guy yet, or you haven't got that far?
I don't have a for sure number one, but I would say my top three favorites in no order are Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, and John Mateer. I think those three have played the best.
Yeah, man. Here we are. Oh, God, I hate this. Dante Moore. Bring on Dante's Inferno. Hashtag go Ducks, man. Don't sleep on those Oregon quarterbacks. You got Herbert. Don't sleep on Marcus Mariota, even though he didn't really turn into anything great. Of course, Bo Nix. He's having somewhat of a sophomore slump, but not really. I think he's about to get cooked this weekend. So we'll see. But appreciate Danger Zone with the $2 super chat. Much love to you guys. And folks, I want to remind everybody, if you're watching this on the Jets Media YouTube channel, what show this is. This is the New York Jets Roundtable. And this show is not going to be on this channel, Jets Media, moving forward. I just wanted to go live on both channels at the same time just to let you guys know where the real channel will host this show. That's on Jets Roundtable. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Go over there, subscribe. We're inching close to 2,000 subs. It's me, Matt O'Leary, and Jake Asman, and Matthew Wilson, and a lot of other Jets creators will be on here as well as we move forward. But that's that. And shout out to the chat as well for tuning on into this show. Now, they're in London right now, and we have to wake up early in the morning on Sunday to watch these Jets. Like, why do we have to do that? I like London games when the Jets don't play because I like waking up and just seeing football on right away. But when the Jets, man, it's a different feeling. What's your routine like Sunday mornings when the Jets play that early?
Usually I do breakfast on the Blackstone, then have that ready to go for the game. So got to do some eggs and bacon and some home fries or some sort of potato on the Blackstone. Have some coffee, maybe a mimosa if I'm feeling frisky, and get after it for a nice Sunday.
Wow, man, that's definitely, we were definitely aligned on our breakfast types of vibes on the Blackstone. Ever since I moved into an apartment building, I left my great Blackstone at home, where I missed that thing.
That's the best. There's nothing better to me. The breakfast on the Blackstone is goated. You could do so many things with it, but that's my favorite thing to do.
Oh, no doubt.
Breakfast stuff.
Are you kidding me? The hash browns, the bacon, the sausage, the eggs, the pancakes on there too.
Yeah.
It's a wild situation. Well, it's turning into food talk. I'm done with the Jets. Let's do it, man.
Maybe a gluten-free pumpkin pancake on the Blackstone.
Oh boy!
Here now we're really
say less. A pumpkin pancake. Sign me up for that, man. I had a gadget, a Blackstone branded gadget, where you put the pancake batter in it and you press it and it comes out.
It? Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Come on.
Trust me, I'm deep in the Blackstone. This show is sponsored by Blackstone. I'm just kidding, but listen. That's our routine. There's some people like Danger Zone on the West Coast got to wake up at 6:30 a.m.
I don't envy the West Coasters for this one, man. That's tough. During the regular week, I don't know, something about football being on at like 10 in the morning. That sounds nice. That's a reasonable time, but 6:30 a.m. kickoff is that's brutal.
Yeah, I was on the West Coast for the NFC West Roundtable event, and they actually had a subscriber make them this beauty, which is pretty funny.
I like that.
Yeah, we got the whole NFC West Roundtable crew with Z-Bot as the host. That was a lot of fun. I was over there on the West Coast, and primetime Thursday Night Football, Matt, was 5:30. It was really weird. It's like we were in a primetime game, and their sun's out. I'm like, is this primetime or not? I'm confused.
Yeah, it's always strange. Or like when a Super Bowl is on the West Coast and they're playing and it's like sunny in the first half. That always, I don't know why. It's weird for me.
Yeah, it is weird. The West Coast vibes. When I am on the West Coast, I do like it because I live on East Coast time and everything's just like early. I'm just like up at naturally early in the morning, because if you're watching like, Knicks games or Islanders games or basketball, hockey in general, they're all done by 7, 8 o'clock. that time. Usually that's when it starts for us in the East Coast. You get to go to sleep really early, get to wake
I
up
would
really
love
early.
that. Like if I had a regular job, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't be able to, watch sports. I'd still be working. But for me, I'm a kid in a toy store. I get to watch sports and talk on the internet every day for my job. I'd be done with work at like 8 instead of 10 or 11. So sign me up for that, dude.
You got to get a real job, man.
No real jobs. I'm not going back.
I'm just playing. But yeah, it's an interesting lifestyle on the West Coast and compared to the East Coast. But the Jets are playing first thing in the morning, and I, of course, will be doing my live reaction for it. And last year, who the Jets got? The Vikings. That was the London game, which eventually had Robert Saleh canned. Woody Johnson loves his London people. Could you see a world where there's any type of moves after this game if they fall to 0-6? Obviously not Aaron Glenn, but a lot of people taking the pitchforks out on Steve Wilkes. Is there a world where he gets fired during the season, or is that more an off-season thing?
I think it's an off-season thing, but maybe he goes to the shadow realm with Nate Hackett from last year, right? Wasn't that after this week that Nate Hackett got sent to do something else for the rest of the year? So I think that's more likely than Steve Wilkes just being completely outright fired.
Any hope in Steve Wilkes figuring it out, or is he just brutal, man? He's just brutal. You can say it, man. It's okay.
Guys who've been in the NFL for 20 years don't usually like to change how they do things. And usually it just gets to a point where the league passes you by, and that's where it looks like we are, unfortunately, with Steve Wilkes.
Yeah, man. I think that what the Jets got to do with this defense is deeper than schematically. I think it's also a player situation, but at the end of the day, just go play better. Are we going to see more Jarvis Brownlee this weekend? I know that he didn't play. I expected him to be the starter in replacement of MC2, but it was Malachi Moore and Isaiah Oliver. What's the role there in the secondary?
I don't like Isaiah Oliver in the slot. I think he's really struggled this year. Play Brownlee in the slot and have Malachi Moore play safety. I don't think he's nearly as good in the slot either.
Yeah, and I feel like, Jermaine Johnson coming back, is there any hope that this defense is going to show any type of sparks with him returning?
I mean, they got the most pressure that they did in week 1 when Jermaine Johnson was out there. So maybe we see them get after the quarterback a little bit more. I think it helps, but are they going to go from a team that's giving up 30 points a game to 16 points a game just because Jermaine's back? I don't know. I think that's a little bit on the optimistic side, but I certainly think it won't make this defense worse. Taking guys like Michael Clemens and, the rest of the rotation over there, Tyler Barron and those guys off the field is only going to help.
Yeah, Tyler Barron and Michael Clemens. Like, are there guys in this defense that don't even belong to be on NFL rosters? Kiko's been a giant disappointment.
That's one.
Tyler Barron, Michael Clemens,
McGregor,
Braden McGregor,
Tony Adams,
dude, just a whiff. Andre Sisco, even. Like, are we just bad? Like, what's the problem, man? Like, is it the players? Like, can you get a brilliant defensive coordinator in the building and make this defense look better, or do we just really have a talent issue, or is it both? Like, I don't know, Matt.
I think
do know, but I don't. Yeah,
I do think it's both. I don't think the coaching staff's done a great job on that side of the ball. But when you're playing, the guys we just rattled off, man, when they're playing a majority of your snaps, you're in trouble. And I know, like, they have Quinnen and they have Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson and Sauce Gardner. Those guys are pretty good, but the rest of them are playing at replacement level or worse. So 4 out of 11 is not enough for you to be a capable defense.
Yeah, of course, man. And it doesn't seem like they're doing their jobs at all. And it's just beyond frustrating. And I think that a big difference that this defense needs to make is somehow taking the ball away. Aaron Glenn said that they're coaching them, that you can't just expect them to give you the ball. You got to go take it. But I haven't seen any of that. And the shame on me in this offseason thinking like, oh, the big difference of this defense is going to be takeaways. Because remember, as good as the solid defense was, that was not their identity. They never took the ball away. They were just a defense that protected the end zone very well and kept everything underneath and got sacks, timely sacks, but they barely turned the ball over. I thought this defense was going to be a defense that gave up more yards, but would be more opportunistic with takeaways. And they can't even get one, Matt. Like, why do they not have a takeaway? Is it an effort thing? Or is it a little bit of luck? Are they not trying? Like, the Brees Hall fumble, for example, and the Braylon Allen fumble, they didn't just drop the balls. Like, those balls were taken from them. Where's our guys trying to take the ball away like that?
I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. Part of it's luck, like not being able to fall on any fumble is like the ball just not bouncing your way. But they had a couple dropped interceptions in week 1. There were opportunities for them to take away the ball. They're just not capitalizing it. So again, I think that's on the players to execute.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And then, of course, you see Saleh out there 4-1, and he's having a good defense. We all know he's a good defensive coordinator, all right? We don't got to keep rubbing it in. We get that. I don't think he's going to get a second job as a head coach. Or maybe he does, and he goes to the playoffs with them, knowing our luck.
Probably. That sounds like something that's likely to happen. Yeah, Todd Bowles, sure.
Could he follow the Todd Bowles trajectory?
Yeah, I don't see why not. He's a good defensive mind. Maybe he learns from mistakes that he made in the first stint and gets a good job and has a quarterback. And
I can see him be like the Carolina Panthers or something,
or Jacksonville. They're playing good right now, but I know they love him in Jacksonville. But
they hate him now.
True. Yeah, after that exchange on the field, that's very true. Yeah, but it would not shock me to see him go somewhere. And if they have a decent quarterback, they do okay.
Yeah, he definitely has that brilliant defensive mind. But I also want to remind people about this. People are like, oh, at least Saleh's defense with the Jets was really, really good. Why can't Glenn do that? I want to remind everybody that Saleh's defense stunk with this football team in year 1.
Yep.
Was worse in the league, like bottom ranked. It wasn't until year 2 where the Jets defensively took that step. Could you see that happening with this regime where the defense is bad now, but it turns a step next year? Obviously, we have to wait to see what happens personnel-wise because, you never know. But I feel like a big reason for that Saleh turnaround was they drafted Sauce that year. They drafted Jermaine. They got a lot of new pieces in, and then everything started to shift. Can you see that type of jump?
Yeah, I can. I don't know if it's going to go from like worst to first like we saw with Saleh, but if it went from like worse to okay, that seems like a realistic expectation, especially if they add some pieces in the offseason and start to get some of his guys in here instead of the holdovers from Robert Saleh's era.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that a big problem with this football team that's very obvious, I think the Jets have lost their 5 games the same way. And the question is, can they get those reasons and throw them in the garbage? And that's turning the ball over, not forcing any turnovers, and being penalized more than anybody. If you're a team that's losing the turnover battle and getting penalized more than the other team, you're going to lose every time.
Yep.
Is there a chance that it gets cleaned up? Like, how long will it take for that to get cleaned up?
That's one that I think is on the players at this point, the penalties, because they had these issues with Saleh. They fire him. They have the issues under Jeff Ulbrich. They fire him. And now under Aaron Glenn, there's still penalty problems. So you can change the coach a 4th time and hope that it finally starts to work out. Eventually, it's got to be on the players for just, I don't know, being smarter, right? Like, you just don't be dumb.
Well, I'm seeing rebuild the Jets takes right now, and it starts with firing Aaron Glenn in the offseason to find a new regime, just for that new coach to come in here and start 1-4 maybe, and then wanting to fire him after 5 games.
And then every year, the next guy goes 2-3, fire him after 5 games, then 3-2. Maybe he sticks around for a little bit more after 3-2 and see.
I mean, it's ridiculous because you really look at this Jets football team and the history, and Glenn's going to get his opportunity, man. Like, whoever wants to fire Aaron Glenn and doesn't believe in him, I don't want to hear you supporting him when he turns it around. How about that? Huh? That's what I got to say. Now, I'm not sitting here believing and, pumping him up and like, oh, what are you talking about? He's going to be great. I'm hopeful. I'm still behind him. I'm still rooting for him. I'm not ready to give up on him. That's my sentiment, Matt. I'm not like just wanting to rip him and put him to the curb and giving up on him. He's got to do so many things better. He inherited this mess. He's got to figure out a way to formulate this team his way. And that leads me to my next question. Do you think there's going to be a massive purge here before the deadline where there's going to be a lot of guys getting traded? Or is it going to be something that they do more in the offseason where you see the purge? Because it's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of guys on this football team that's going to be gone next year. But the question is, will it happen during this season or will it be in the offseason?
I think Breece Hall is their most tradable asset, and it's going to kill me to see Breece Hall get traded because I really like him, and I think if he goes to a good team in a good situation, he's going to put up big numbers, and they're not going to get a lot back for a running back, and the trade return's probably going to be a little underwhelming. So I'm just mentally preparing myself for that to come in the coming weeks. If Quincy Williams gets healthy, maybe he gets moved. He's on an expiring contract. But other than that, I think a lot of the other moves are going to start happening in the offseason.
Yeah. Michael Carter's another one, but he's been playing bad and injured. He doesn't really have a lot of value. Quincy Williams, like you mentioned. I don't know if Jermaine Johnson's a guy, but he's been hurt. I would not want to give... I don't want to trade good players, and that's the problem. You're in this weird situation. It's like, yeah, let's trade away Breece Hall, but, I would argue... Okay, say we are drafting at the top of the draft next year. Why wouldn't you want Breece Hall to be a running back for that new quarterback to lean on with Garrett, with Mason Taylor, with the new guys? You can't. I mean, you can replace Breece in the draft, but you would have to draft a guy in the first 3 rounds to get a talent like Breece. Maybe you're lucky to get a guy in the 4th and 5th round, which we've seen in the past. But Braylon Allen now has a messed up knee. Isaiah Davis is not a starter. He's a good utility guy, even if that. If the plan is to trade Breece, you're obviously tanking this season, but what's the plan at running back? You're not going to go out there and pay one in the open market. You got to get one in the draft, right?
Yeah, and then you're kind of creating another hole for yourself. And you're right. I wouldn't then just be like, oh, let's pick a random running back in the 4th round and expect Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, and our 4th round running back to be good enough. You would probably have to take one in the 2nd or 3rd round. And with all the needs that they have, I think you can make a case that extending Breece Hall for $10 million a year might be your best option. But again, I'm not saying that I want to trade Breece Hall. If they were to trade someone,
you said it. Put the quote. Someone make a graphic quote. Matt O'Leary.
Yeah, yep, that's what I said. I got DMs about that today from our Talking Jets show on Tuesday, which just drives me nuts. There's a difference between saying what I think is going to happen and what I want to happen. And what I think is going to happen is Breece Hall gets traded. What I want to happen, I don't really love the idea of giving up on Breece Hall. And I know paying running backs is kind of taboo, but he's 24. You're likely to have a rookie quarterback next year. If you have a good offensive line, have a good run game, have a good wide receiver one in Garrett Wilson, pretty good situation for a quarterback to come into.
Yeah, so breaking news, Matt O'Leary wants to trade Breece.
I said it. Yep.
No, he did not say that. Don't you spin with that. But listen, I think that at the end of the day, I agree. I don't want to trade Breece Hall, but it is a possibility. This is how I look at it. If the way the Jets are going to look at it is this way, in my opinion. They look at Breece Hall and they think to themselves, is this someone we see long term in our future? Also, does Breece and his agent ask for money that they don't really think that he deserves? And they're like, you don't even want to deal with that because Breece is going to say, I want this. But, I mean, Breece has been pretty self-aware, which I will say. He, when he was asked about James Cook getting paid and Kyron Williams getting paid, he's like, I haven't proved anything.
Yep.
So I don't really deserve to get paid. Well, sorry, Breece, you still haven't proved anything throughout the first 5 games. He doesn't have a touchdown.
Yeah, that's crazy. Not
even garbage time. How does he not have a touchdown, Matt? Do you know that he has the college football record of the most consistent consecutive games with a touchdown? This guy, I really do think that ACL injury really just messed him up because he has not looked the same since that first 6 games of the season type of vibes.
No, and also that's just some Jets voodoo, man, that you get a running back who scores a touchdown every single week and then he comes here and just can't get in the end zone. That just makes too much sense.
It's beyond brutal, man. It's sad. And now Braylon Allen's hurt. So now you got Isaiah Davis. I mean, what are we even doing, man, at the end of the day? So let's just get into our previews and predictions of this game. What are you predicting happening? Are the Jets getting blown out? Are they getting massacred?
They lose by double digits, 30-16, something like that. I don't think they score over 20. This is a really good defense. And until they prove otherwise, I think they're going to give up 30 points every week. So 30-16.
Come on, Matt. Give me more than that.
What do you want me to say? They stink, Richie. They are not a good football team. And they're going up against the team in the NFL with the most sacks, with a quarterback who holds onto the ball forever, I don't see how there's any path to success here. I hope I'm wrong. I want to come on next week with you on the Jets Roundtable YouTube channel, which if you haven't subscribed to yet, you're missing out. Make sure to subscribe. I want to say I was wrong. I'm happy the Jets got their first win, but I can't in good faith predict that to be the case.
Oh, man. I hear you, Matt. I wish I can be optimistic. You know me. I feel like I want to come out here and go on this whole rant that the Jets are going to do. But I'm losing hope, man. I really am. I'm in a wait and see it approach. I just got to be neutral. I got to be level headed. And, you know, I'm just going to predict the Denver Broncos winning until the Jets have proven it. Maybe they can beat the Panthers next week, but who knows? They just beat the great Miami Dolphins that we couldn't even beat. So you'll see, man. Shout out to my boy Matthew Wilson. We got two Matthews. Look at this. Matthew and Matthew. Make sure you guys check out this YouTube channel, Jets Roundtable. My boy Matthew Wilson will be doing the post game after the game and some more content throughout the week. And maybe he'll be on here as well, talking Jets with us eventually, which will be exciting. And also check out Jets Roundtable on TikTok. That's where he's really grinding the most. Shout out to Matthew Wilson, as always, your future favorite sportscaster, which is his model, which I like a lot. Any advice for a rising sportscaster, Matt? Because I know that you have a lot of experience in this field. And I actually, you know what I stumbled upon of one of your videos?
What's that?
How to start a sports podcast 6 years ago.
Yeah, I did make that 6 years ago, and I left it up because
I'm happy you did, because I stumbled across it somehow, and I watched it. It was great.
Thank you. Yeah, so some background on me. I've been in digital media forever, really. Before YouTube, I wrote for a bunch of different websites, and the best advice that anyone ever asks, how do I get into doing what you do? You have to create content every single day. Doesn't matter what you do, if it's Instagram page, TikTok page, YouTube, whatever. Stay consistent. Worry more early on about the quantity over quality, because the quality will come the more you do something, and you'll see what's working and what's not, and what you can improve on and what you're doing well. Too many people who want to start doing content, they put it off and they wait because they want everything to be perfect and look good right away. That's not how it works. You're not going to like your early content. I go back and watch my stuff from when I was in college, and I absolutely hate it, but you have to do it. You just get out there, put yourself out there. Don't worry about views. Don't worry about monetization and money. Just go out there, grind every day. And if you're consistent with it, the success will come.
Absolutely, man. It's I couldn't agree more. I echo everything that Matt said. You got to start somewhere. I mean, I recorded myself when I was on a student radio station back in college, my college days. 89.1 The Point was a student run radio station. Shout out to SUNY Brockport. And I recorded myself live on the radio, and I was just cringing like how I sounded. But you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And I was gaining my confidence live on the radio. And at that point, I had no idea what I wanted to do. But then the pandemic happened, and I was just putting my head down and grinded, did nothing but content for the pure soul of one reason only, which I think is the key to all this, is passion. Yep. If you have passion for it, then that's really going to be your driving force. That's what I think all the time. And I think that we have a lot of, passionate people in this industry that make it. And I feel like doing it for the love of the game is the most important. And I genuinely love what I do every day. And I know Matt does, and I know a lot of people do in this industry. And the best part about it too is community. I think that the community that we get to create with everybody in the chat is just like, I didn't even let me just remind you what I'm talking about. Matt and I wouldn't have known each other if this wasn't for a community. You make friends in this industry. Like, it's really cool. Like, I consider Matt a colleague of mine, even though we're not technically employed under anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but you're so right. Like, I've met so many people through doing this. Like, one of my groomsmen I met 10 years ago running an Islanders website with, and we've worked together for a decade. And like, you're coming to my wedding, and Jake, and a bunch of other friends that I've met in this space. And it was an important thing in my life. Like, I've met so many people through doing it, and you're so right. You got to do it for the love of the game. If you're like, hey, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and start making lots of money right away, and I want to make money, like, you're not going to be happy, because it takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication to do it. But if you're like I was when I was 20 years old, I was making videos and content for 10 people watched. I didn't care. I just wanted to do it. So that's kind of how you have to be early on.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even know there was money to be made when I started my YouTube channel. And then someone told me, like, I think YouTube notified me, you're almost eligible for, I'm like, wait, what? I was like, wait, really? I just started because I loved it. And that's really what it's about. It's a passion project that can turn into a real thing. And we're thankful to live, in a era where it is possible to turn this into it. And that's really what it's about. And Jets fans, we're all in this together. We're all trying to figure out how to maneuver the suffering. So we'll figure that out as time passes. But since we are live on Jets Media, I want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper, who is the proud sponsor of Jets Media throughout the whole season. Make sure you guys check them out. You can use the code JETS, and you will get $20 for free when you sign up. Make sure you guys go check them out. Link at the top of the chat, as always, to build your parlays, build your bets. We got Thursday Night Football, Eagles-Giants tonight. Eagles are going to dominate, but hey, you never know. What if Jackson Dart goes out there and does his thing? You never know. You never know. You never know. Oh, we got a super chat from a Patriots fan. Look at that. Hey, Richie and Matt. Could you guys see the Jets picking up Shedeur Sanders if the Browns let him go next season?
No. I don't think that personality in New York would work very well.
Thank you so much for the $20 super chats, Patriots 92. I do appreciate that, man. I think that I would want nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders, like at all, dude. Like everything is about him. It's like Joe Flacco gets traded, and we're talking about Shedeur being quarterback 2 more than we're talking about Dylan Gabriel being the starter and Joe Flacco being the starter. It's like, whoa, Shedeur's quarterback 2 now. It's like the Jets do not need that distraction more than we already have. That is just a recipe for a disaster. Disaster. So shout out to Patriots 92 for the $20 super chat, man, and enjoy your little high horse. Patriots fans won't last long because we're coming. Okay, Matt. Just
I hope so. They're playing really well right now. So hat tip to the Pats, but I hope the Jets are coming.
Oh man, meet me there, don't beat me there podcast. That's my boy James. James, if you make a podcast called "Meet Me There, Don't Beat Me There," I will be the first one to be tuning into that. That is awesome. That is a motto. James is a loyal subscriber. He always calls into the shows, and he'd always like say, "Meet me there, don't beat me there" when we're going to games. So I think that, and I don't know if you've ever seen one of James's calls. He is one of, if not the most passionate callers. Wears his heart in his sleeve. He's just your typical, like, if you wanted to stereotype a New York Jets fan that is just over the top and passionate, it's James.
I love it. That would do very well in content. So
he's got it, bro. He's got a personality, dude.
I'm all here for it. I really am.
No, James, meet me there, don't meet me there. I would love to be a guest on that show. It would be a privilege of mine. But make sure you guys go check out again. I know that we have a bunch of people live on Jets Media, but do me a favor right now. Click the link at the top of the chat. Come over to the Jets Roundtable YouTube channel. That's where Matt and I are live Mondays, sometimes when I feel like it, and Thursdays at 3 p.m. every single week. Make sure you guys go check it out. We love you, as always, for tuning in to Jets Roundtable. Matt, anything you want to say to the people before we wrap things up?
The Jets are going to win a game eventually. It's just not going to be this week. Stay the course. We'll try.
Stay the course. All right, folks, we're out. We love you. Peace out.